He is known for his harmonizing reading of the Sastras, with liberating knowledge of the self at its core. He is recognized for his works on the identity of the self and Brahman, defending the liberating knowledge of the self. He is Adi Shankara, an 8th century Indian Vedic scholar and teacher. In the ancient land of India, a profound philosopher and teacher emerged in the 8th century. His name was Adi Shankara, also known as Adi Shankaracharya. He dedicated his life to the pursuit of knowledge and the dissemination of wisdom. Adi Shankara's works presented a harmonizing reading of the Sastras, the sacred scriptures of Hinduism, with liberating knowledge of the self at its core. He synthesized the teachings of Advaita Vedanta, a philosophical school that emphasized the oneness of the individual self and the ultimate reality known as Brahman. Adi Shankara's influence and legacy were immense, with over 300 texts attributed to him. However, it is believed that many of these were written by admirers, pretenders, or scholars using his name. Scholars have questioned the authenticity of some of his works, such as Vivekakmai. But among the works known to be written by Shankara himself were his commentaries on the Brahma Sutras, 10 principal Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. He also authored the Upadisasahasri, a profound treatise on spiritual instruction. Central to Shankara's writings was the concept of the identity between the individual self and the universal Brahman. He defended the liberating knowledge of the self, emphasizing the Upanishads as an independent means of knowledge, in contrast to the ritualistic approach of the MMA with Makran school of Hinduism. Interestingly, Shankara's Advaita philosophy showed influences from Mahayana Buddhism, despite his critiques of the Buddhist teachings. Some Hindu Vaishnava opponents even accused him of being a crypto-Buddhist, an accusation that was firmly rejected by the Advaita Vedanta tradition. Shankara's profound insights and teachings earned him an unparalleled status in the tradition of Advaita Vedanta. However, his influence on Hindu intellectual thought has been a subject of debate. It wasn't until the 14th century, long after his death, that the popular image of Shankara began to take shape. The Sringeri Matha, a renowned monastic institution, received patronage from the kings of the Vijayanagara Empire, leading to a shift in allegiance from Advaitic Agamic Saivism to Brahmanical Advaita orthodoxy. This change in patronage contributed to the deification of Shankara, portraying him as a ruler renunciate who embarked on a Digvijaya, a conquering journey, across the Indian subcontinent to propagate his profound philosophy. Hagiographies from the 14th to 17th centuries depicted him as the founder of 4 mathas, monastic institutions, and the organizer of the Dashanami monastic order. Shankara's impact on the Shanmata tradition of worship, which encompasses the worship of 6 major deities, was also highlighted. Even today, Shankara's influence resonates through the title of Shankaracharya, which is used by the heads of certain monasteries in India. Adi Shankara's philosophical contributions continue to inspire seekers of truth and knowledge, leaving an indelible mark on the intellectual and spiritual landscape of India and beyond. In the realm of Indian philosophy, Adi Shankara stands as a pivotal figure. He synthesized and rejuvenated the doctrine of Advaita, which had already existed before him, according to Nakamura. He gave a Vedantic character to the Buddhistic elements in the works of Gawapta, infusing them with his own unique perspective. Shankara's contribution to Advaita Vedanta was groundbreaking. Drawing on ancient Indian texts, he systematized its foundation in the 8th century, as noted by Kohler. His reformations of Badarayana's Vedanta tradition paved the way for a deeper understanding of non-dualism. However, Maeda points out that Shankara's primary concern was not to establish a complete system of philosophy or theology, but rather to guide individuals towards moksha, the liberation from the cycle of birth and death. While Shankara's approach was primarily commentarial, Lipner suggests that a systematic philosophy can be derived from his thought. Though his works may seem disjointed, they reveal a profound understanding of Advaita. Shankara's philosophy is rooted in monism, emphasizing the unity of all existence. It is influenced by various Hindu traditions, including Shaivism, Shaktism, and Vaishnavism, as well as the Yoga school of thought. Shankara's teachings hold relevance even in our daily lives. They remind us that we are not separate from the world around us, but rather interconnected with it. Embracing the concept of non-duality can help us cultivate a sense of unity, empathy, and compassion. By transcending dualistic thinking, we may find a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the universe. Adi Shankara, a renowned philosopher and theologian, dedicated his life to unraveling the mysteries of the self and Brahman. He firmly believed that the ultimate liberation, known as moksha, could be attained through the knowledge of this profound identity. Shankara's writings revolved around this central theme, emphasizing the importance of understanding the true nature of the self. Shankara's quest for liberating knowledge stemmed from his desire to provide a path to freedom from suffering and the cycle of rebirth. He saw the Upanishads, the ancient Indian texts, as the key to unlocking this knowledge and as a means of independent understanding. In his teachings, Shankara defended the Upanishads against the ritually-oriented MMA with Macron school of Hinduism, stressing the significance of direct realization over mere rituals. At the heart of Shankara's philosophy was the concept that the unchanging entity, the self, is the only reality, while the ever-changing entities of the world lack absolute existence. He believed that by recognizing the profound identity of Atman, the individual self, and Brahman, the universal consciousness, one could attain moksha in this very life. This recognition, mediated by the Mahavakyas, particularly Tat Tvam Asi, meaning that you are, leads to the correct knowledge of Atman and Brahman. According to Shankara, this correct knowledge is not merely intellectual understanding but a transformative experience that brings one closer to the realization of Brahman, immortality, and liberation from suffering. It is through this knowledge that one can break free from the cycle of rebirth, known as samsara. Shankara's teachings remind us that by seeking the truth of our own existence and recognizing our connection to the universal consciousness, we can find liberation from the limitations of worldly suffering. Adi Shankara, a renowned philosopher, recognized the importance of understanding the means of knowledge, also known as pramanas. However, his focus was primarily on metaphysics and soteriology, and he took for granted the pramanas, considering Atman Brahman as self-evident and self-established. He believed that an investigation into the means of knowledge was not necessary for attaining final release. Shankara's arguments were grounded in realism rather than idealism, emphasizing that true knowledge is based on existing things rather than solely relying on Vedic injunctions or human authority. Shankara regarded perception and inference as the most reliable means of gaining knowledge. He believed that these methods, when used to discern what is beneficial and avoid what is harmful, rendered the scriptures unnecessary. However, he acknowledged the significance of scriptures such as the Vedas and the Upanishads in matters related to metaphysics and ethics, where their testimonies and wisdom become important. While Shankara accepted the Vedas and Upanishads as sources of knowledge, he did not solely rely on ancient texts to support his philosophical theses. Instead, he meticulously proved each thesis by employing the pramanas of reason and experience. He believed in the power of logical reasoning and emphasized the hierarchical steps of acquiring knowledge. Critics have pointed out Shankara's demand for logic from Madhyamaka Buddhists while resorting to revelation as a source of knowledge. However, others argue that Shankara's reliance on revelation, known as Aptavakana, is an integral part of his epistemological foundation. He believed that human beings have limited time and energy to directly acquire all facts and truths, and therefore, teachings in the Vedas and Upanishads serve as valid sources of knowledge. Shankara emphasized the importance of the teacher-disciple relationship, combining logic and revelation, to attain moksha, the ultimate liberation. Adi Shankara, the renowned philosopher of Advaita Vedanta, emphasized the profound concept of the identity of Atman and Brahman. According to Shankara, the individual self, Atman, and the ultimate reality, Brahman, may seem distinct at the surface level of existence, but in truth, they are one and the same. This realization is crucial for attaining moksha, liberation from suffering and rebirth. Shankara regarded self-knowledge as the key to liberation. By disidentifying from the body-mind complex and recognizing one's true essence as Atman, one can gain insight into the identity of Atman and Brahman. This understanding is revealed through the Shruti, particularly the Upanishadic statement, Tat Tvam Asi, which translates to, that thou art. In the Upadisasahasri, Shankara devotes an entire chapter to the exploration of Tat Tvam Asi. Here, he explains that Tat refers to Brahman, the ultimate reality, while Tvam represents the individual self, Atman. Through this statement, the illusion of a separate self is dispelled, and the unity of Atman and Brahman is realized. Shankara's philosophy finds resonance in the Mahavakyas, for Upanishadic statements that directly express the identity of Atman and Brahman. These Mahavakyas hold special significance in Advaita Vedanta. They serve as powerful reminders of our true nature and help us transcend the limitations of our individual existence. Understanding the identity of Atman and Brahman can profoundly impact our daily lives. It reminds us that our true essence is beyond the transient nature of the body and mind. It encourages us to seek self-knowledge and disidentify from the ego-driven aspects of our being. This realization invites us to embrace a sense of unity, compassion, and interconnectedness with all beings. In summary, Adi Shankara's philosophy emphasizes the identity of Atman and Brahman, revealing the ultimate truth of existence. Through the recognition of this unity, one can attain liberation from suffering and rebirth. This profound understanding has the power to transform our daily lives, reminding us of our true essence and inspiring us to live with greater awareness and harmony.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.